Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Okay, so we're doing Texas today.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I am really impressed with the amount of stuff that our listeners sent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were not messing around when they said they wanted a deep dive.
No, they weren't.
I've got excerpts here from something called Pasted Text.
Okay.
A couple articles from the Texas State Historical Association.
Right.
The Financial Times.
Always a good one.
And even something from the ASU Institutional Repository.
Oh, wow. Getting into the academic stuff.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty clear that they want to go way beyond just the, the cowboys and the oil and the whole,
The stereotypes.
The stereotypes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, are definitely a part of Texas.
Right.
But there's just so much more.
Oh, so much more.
Yeah. And even just getting ready for this, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Texas was like its own country.
It was.
For a while.
Yeah, the Republic of Texas.
Right. A republic.
Yeah.
Wild.
It's wild.
And then you look at what's happening with the demographics.
Yeah.
It's like the whole U.S. fast-forwarded.
Yeah, it really is a fascinating look at what might be coming for the rest of the country.
Yeah, and it's happening like NOW.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Not in some distant future.
Yeah, and to really even start to grasp it, we got to rewind a little bit.
Okay.
Way, way back.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing that gets lost is that Texas wasn't just this empty land before Europeans showed up.
Yeah.
There were people here, indigenous peoples, for thousands of years.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and that history is still so important for understanding Texas today.
So we're talking about I mean, obviously we can't cover thousands of years in 5 minutes.
But we can at least acknowledge that depth of history, and how it shapes the cultural landscape.
Yeah. Okay. So then from there, you've got the Spanish exploration starting in the 1500s.
That's right. Yeah.
Then you've got Mexican rule for a while. The whole Texas Revolution thing.
Yeah, which is an interesting story in itself.
Yeah.
Winning independence from Mexico.
Right.
Becoming a republic.
Republic.
It's, that forged this whole spirit of self-reliance that you still see, even today.
Yeah, makes sense.
But then becoming part of the U.S. in 1845, that's a big turning point.
Yeah.
It fueled westward expansion, obviously.
Right.
But it also played a role in the tensions that led to the Civil War.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the history down.
Right, we've sped through a few centuries there.
A few centuries, but it's important context.
It is.
Because if you don't understand the past, you're really going to miss a lot of what's happening today.
Yeah.
And what's happening today is
people,
lots of people.
Texas is booming.
Yeah, and the demographics are changing so fast.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that makes it so fascinating.
Right.
Because by 2020, Hispanics made up almost 50% of Texans 18 and under.
So that's
think about
the
that.
future right there.
Yeah, it is.
And this is something that's happening all over the U.S.
It is, yeah.
But it seems like in Texas, it's just
accelerated.
Yeah, it's happened
on fast forward.
Yeah, way faster.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, for the state?
Well, it means that the future of Texas is going to be shaped by this younger, more diverse generation.
Yeah.
There'll be the workforce, the voters.
The consumers.
Yeah, the consumer.
That's a huge shift.
It is a massive shift.
And one of the articles I was reading was talking about how companies are moving to Texas.
Right.
All these big companies.
Yeah, you've got Tesla, Apple.
Right.
A lot of tech companies.
Because of the business environment.
Yeah. The low taxes, less regulation.
Right.
That kind of thing.
But if the population is changing like this, will that still be what people want?
That's the big question.
Right.
Texas has always prided itself on that kind of hands-off approach.
Yes, small government.
Right. But a younger generation, they might have different priorities.
Yeah.
Education, infrastructure.
Social services.
Things like that.
Right. So how Texas adapts
exactly
all of this is really going to determine.
It will. It'll determine its future.
Okay. So then there's the economy.
Right.
Which everyone thinks.
Oil.
Cowboys.
And to be fair, oil and gas are still big.
Right. They are.
But is it still all about that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Texas has been quietly diversifying.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. You look at Houston, it's becoming a big player in healthcare.
Wow.
And renewable energy.
Okay.
And then you've got Austin.
Yeah.
Which is like this mini Silicon Valley.
I was reading about that in the Financial Times.
They were talking about how like Tesla and Apple have set up these
huge operations.
Yeah, major operations in Texas.
Yep.
And it's not just the incentives. It's also the workforce.
Right. Texas has a growing workforce.
Especially in tech.
Yeah.
But all this growth.
Oh, yeah.
It can't all be good, right?
Well, that's the thing. The Financial Times article actually talks about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The downsides of this boom. Okay. You know, there's a strain on infrastructure, roads, housing.
Yeah.
And it's driving up the cost of living.
Yeah.
So it's pricing out some of the longtime residents.
Yeah, that's always the
it's a
downside of growth.
It is, you know, and it's a challenge that cities all over the world are facing, how you manage that rapid growth.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So it seems like Texas is trying to walk this tightrope.
They are.
Of like attracting all these businesses and this investment, but also managing it.
Yeah.
So that it benefits everyone.
Right. That's the key.
Not just the
newcomers.
Right, yeah.
And that's where sustainable development comes in.
Okay.
You know, investing in infrastructure, affordable housing, education, workforce training, making sure that everyone has the opportunity to benefit from this growth.
Okay.
It's a tough balance, but it's a really important lesson.
Yeah, for everybody.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the history, the demographics, the economy, but like, what about
the soul of Texas?
Yeah, like what makes Texas?
Right.
You know, we can't ignore the whole like cowboy thing, the wide open spaces, the, you know, go big or go home.
That's definitely part of it.
But it's got to be more than that.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
So what is it?
Well, Texas is really this incredible cultural tapestry, you know, woven from indigenous heritage, Spanish, Mexican influences, Anglo-American settlement, and then waves of migration from all over the world.
So it's like all of that mixed together.
It is, yeah.
And you see it.
You do.
In the music.
Absolutely.
Right? Like you've got country.
Yep.
You've got Tejano. Blues.
Yeah.
All mixed together.
Blending together.
And the food.
Oh, the food.
Tex-Mex.
Right. Like its own category.
Yeah, it's amazing.
A fusion of flavors.
Yeah.
That reflects the state's history.
I love it.
Yeah.
So it's like that cultural blend is in everything.
It is in everything.
And I guess that also means it's in the political landscape.
Right. So Texas has this reputation for strong individualism, that frontier spirit.
Yeah.
But it also holds on to traditional values.
Interesting.
So it's the fascinating paradox.
It is. It's contradictory.
It is.
But I guess that's kind of what makes it so interesting.
It is.
So to really get Texas,
you
got to embrace the contradictions.
You do.
The layers.
Yeah.
The fact that it's constantly changing.
Exactly. It's a state in motion.
Right.
It's always evolving.
So much like the U.S.
Well, that's the thing. Texas is really a microcosm of America.
Okay.
It's where the past and present are always colliding, where different cultures are mixing and creating something new.
It's exciting.
It is.
But also probably a little scary.
Yeah. A little bit of both.
Yeah.
But definitely not boring.
No, definitely not boring.
Right.
So we've gone from
ancient
settlements to like
tech giants.
Right, tech giants.
Yeah.
Demographic shifts.
Yeah.
To like the soul of Texas.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
But I think the takeaway here is that Texas is anything but simple.
No, it's complicated.
It is.
And messy.
Yeah.
And exciting.
And fascinating.
And a little bit terrifying.
Yeah, all of that.
But it's definitely a place to watch.
It is.
Because what happens in Texas doesn't stay in Texas.
No, it ripples out to the rest of the country.
So trends that we're seeing now could be what we're seeing
exactly
in the whole U.S.
The whole U.S. in a few years.
Wow, that's a lot to think about.
It is.
Well, thank you for taking this deep dive with us.
My pleasure.
And to our listener, who I think deserves a prize.
Yeah, for all that research.
I hope this has
given them
a new appreciation for Texas. Keep exploring.
Keep learning.
And until next time.
Happy trails.
Happy trails.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.